How are you? Good morning.
Good morning. What time of day
Um,
is it for you?
it's like 8:20 p.m.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. You're like what? Half six? No.
Yeah, just after 7 a.m.
Okay.
So, what is the exact
Okay.
time? 20 past 7.
Yeah, not bad. Were you coaching this morning or training this morning?
I was coaching. I don't train this early.
Why?
I don't know. I find I get a lot of niggles if I train in the morning,
Okay.
where I allow a little bit of time for my body to warm up and then get into it in the afternoon.
Yeah, you gotta let it like lubricate.
That's right. Let those joints lubricate, especially as get a little bit older.
Yeah. What age are you, Rob?
37.
Wow, okay. You're not that
Yes.
old. Or else I'm old too. One of your how long have you been doing CrossFit for?
uh, it'll be actually 14 years this month.
Wow, okay. How can you be so specific? Did something terrible happen the first time you did it or something?
No, I just knew it was November
Okay.
2009. So I was going to say 13 years, but then I'm like, no, I'm actually coming up to 14 now. So yeah, it wasn't
Who,
it wasn't traumatic. It was actually really enjoyable when I started.
can you remember like why you started or how you got into it?
Yeah, I remember I was doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, just
Okay.
pretty fresh into it, maybe like 2, 3 months, and my dad actually started doing CrossFit, and he was talking about it, and I'm like, oh, that sounds like it'd be good for BJJ. So I started doing it, and I was waking up so beat up just from both, like sore joints, could hardly move my neck, and just being sore from CrossFit, and also being sore from getting choked out. Um, I stopped slowly going to BJJ and kept the CrossFit going, and did my first comp within 3 months and did really well. And yeah, I just stopped going to BJJ and just kept doing CrossFit.
Is I'm sure you get asked this a lot. Is your name pronounced like a fortress or like someone's strong suit? Is it like Fort or Forte?
Forte.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Um, And so what age is your dad? So 13 years ago. So you were like 22, 23-ish. What age was he when he started doing CrossFit?
What's he now? He is 61. So,
About 50, 47 or so, roughly.
yeah.
That's shit maths, but roughly. Um,
Yeah,
and
48.
why why did he start doing it? Because that's kind of it's quite late to start something new. Like, why did he start doing it?
Yeah. So he actually heard about CrossFit through Commando Steve,
Okay.
which he went to the CrossFit Games in 2009, came fourth, um, and he was on a TV show called Biggest Loser.
Okay.
And yeah, he was just curious to see his background and see whether he was actually a legit commando. And then saw that he was doing CrossFit. And then my dad was actually in Subway getting some lunch and saw a guy with a CrossFit t-shirt on and asked him, "Is there a CrossFit around here?" And he goes, "Oh, I've got my open day this weekend." And that's how it came about. So my dad was one of the first members in there, and I was one of the first few as well. And then it ended up being business partners with that owner to open up CrossFit Frankston, and
Oh,
we ended
cool.
up going separate ways after about a year, mutually. And yeah, so not too long after starting, I had my own gym and was fully into it.
What and did you have a different job? Like, were you in a different career at that stage, or were you just out of college?
Yeah, when I left school, I did my carpentry apprenticeship,
Okay.
and then for a couple of years after that, I was building trailers with my dad and brother. So I was doing that while I had the gym. I was doing that for probably year and a half. So I'd get up, drive to Frankston, which is about a half an hour drive, take the 6 a.m. session, drive back, work on the trailers all day, come back in the afternoon, take the afternoon session, go back home. So we only had 2 sessions a day to start with. And then after I went to the games in 2011, I was like, I'm just going to commit to the gym thing, quit my trailer building job, and added more classes in and kind of took it from there.
Were you programming for Frankston, or how did you do that?
When I took over it by myself, yes, I was.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Which
when
was
you were doing
2011, yeah.
when you were doing the okay, so you took over. This is like actually really impressive. So you took over Frankston solo the same year that you first qualified for the games, and then you qualified
Yeah.
for the games 8 more
Yeah.
times after that while running the gym on your own, like
Yes.
as the sole operator. That's really impressive.
I definitely wasn't expecting to qualify in 2011.
What was your dad's reaction when you qualified?
I guess he was proud, but I don't really recall. Yeah.
Because I feel like if that's kind of like that thing, you know, where I've often heard people say like, oh, I got on into CrossFit, my friend was doing it and really liked it and asked me to try it, and then like suddenly it's fucking James Newbury going to the games, and I always wonder, is the
Yeah.
friend like, fuck's sake, like that should
Yeah.
have been me, or but I wonder, is your dad the opposite? Was he like, yes, I introduced him to it, and now he's like, he's going from here to the games?
Yeah. He's like, I produced that. Like he gets his
He
all his
produced it in a
talent
lot of
from
ways.
me. Yeah. He goes, he gets all his talent from me. He doesn't
Yeah.
mind bragging about that. But
And
it
when you
definitely
say,
doesn't come from him. It comes from my mum. I'm not going to give him any credit.
did your mum do CrossFit too?
She does, yeah.
Okay,
She's
that's
been to the
cool.
games as well.
Oh shit, okay.
A
In
couple of
age
times.
groups?
Yeah, a couple of times in the age group category.
The same year that you were there?
Yep.
Like, did you guys overlap?
Yes, I think it was maybe the last year in Carson, so 2016,
Yeah.
and I think the first year in Madison, 2017.
Wow.
So
And
I'm
did she
not.
start doing CrossFit because your dad started doing it too?
Yeah, they started pretty similar time.
Like, whatever type of man he is, he's either going to be one or two ways about it. He's going to be like, I am so proud of my wife and my son for, like, I'm just so thrilled. Or else he's like secretly seething over the fact that he found something that he liked, showed it to
Yeah.
you two, and then you two become multi-year games.
Yeah. He
Yeah, it's
was
funny.
pretty good back in the day. Did some local comps and stuff, but wasn't anywhere near as consistent as
Yeah.
myself and my mum.
So when you took over, you started in Frankston there, and then you took it over solo. Was there anything like, was that because you thought, okay, I really like doing this, but I feel like I can have a better run of it myself? And then if that was the case, was there anything after you took it over that you were like, oh fuck, like I didn't anticipate this, or I didn't think of this bit?
No, we both had to travel, a little bit, and having both gyms, and the guy I was business partners with, he was like, I just don't want to travel anymore. And he goes, I'm thinking about selling it. And I'm like, I'll just take over it. You take over the one you originally started. And that's kind of how that went about. And then not too long after, like just being able to commit to it a little bit more, and saw a lot of growth in the member base, and we moved to a bigger space quite quickly. And so it was all going well. There was definitely no regrets at all.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the whole process and could put some full-time staff on pretty quickly. Like within 12 months, I had 2 full-time staff. So the workload actually decreased pretty quickly. But it was just getting it off the ground. That first 12, 18 months was pretty tough, having another job. And I can see how people get into it thinking it'll be cool and get to train all day and all of that, but it's not really that at all.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say if you want to start money, if you want to get money, that it's not like just forget it.
Yeah.
Like that's not what it's for.
Yeah, you got to definitely have the work ethic and be a business person. Otherwise, it's not really feasible.
Yeah. So you're like 13 or so years an affiliate owner then.
Yeah.
When you see what's happening,
2010 was when CrossFit Franks was affiliated.
Okay, so over 13 years. So when you see the changes and stuff that are happening and like all the new hires and like there's a lot like Hitters put out a lot of videos and there's a lot of different media outlets talking about it and stuff. Are you phased by that at all? Like, are you in any way like, I don't like this, or are you just like, I just got to keep paying and keep coaching the people that come in?
Yeah, honestly, I don't really care. Like, to me, I can't really control any of it, so I don't let it bother me at all. And
What would you do if they said, okay, everyone's paying $5,000 now?
I'd probably just deal with it and move on. Like, it is what it is. Can't do anything about it. If I don't like it, I'll de-affiliate, but I guess I'd just weigh it up. Again, I just got that mindset, like, just deal with what's in front of me and make it work. And if there's other options or better options out there, I'll explore those. But yeah, if they were to go that direction, it means that they lose people. That's their call. But I doubt they would do that. Not increase the amount that specifically, but upset a lot of people and affect their business. So yeah.
Did you get one of those
try
surveys?
not to get too emotional and too worked up with things I can't really control.
That's fair. Did you get one of those survey emails?
Probably. I just ignore most of them.
That's fair. That's fair.
Probably. I don't know.
Is there something then? Like, is there something that has kept you affiliating year on year? Like, not just being Frankston Strength and Fitness or Frankston Gym. The fact that you're CrossFit Frankston this long, is there something about it, or something about your relationship with it, or what you believe it to be that keeps you coming back every time?
Yeah, I definitely believe in the methodology and the community side of things. Like, for me, if I was to train at home by myself, I definitely wouldn't get as much out of it compared to being in this environment. And I know I've kind of created this environment, but that came from me starting CrossFit, seeing that, being involved in it, and I've just kind of carried that forward. The people within the space, early days, just learning so much from all of those people, not just fitness based, but just lifestyle and mindset and just everything, really, just being a better person. I've learned all of that through CrossFit and through the people involved in CrossFit. So I think there's a lot of good that comes from it. There's a lot of good people in the industry, within CrossFit itself. So I respect that and kind of want to still be involved with that moving forward.
You did the age group qualifiers last year, didn't you? The semifinals.
No, I just did the Open as an age grouper. Like,
okay,
I didn't do the quarterfinals. I don't think I ever have, just because no one in the gym really does it. So I'll just be doing it on my own. And
you wouldn't do it for the qualifying as an individual and a team and an age group?
I could, but no. Last year was actually my worst finish across the board. I let my strength numbers slip away quite a bit, and surprisingly, it affected me a lot. On the leaderboard, I wasn't expecting it. It was a bit of a shock, actually. The Open was really bad because of the thruster, then the quarterfinals, the clean and jerks at 125 kilos just buried me. So I just didn't do as well as I thought I would. Normally, I just keep up there, but that was a motivator for me to get a little bit stronger. Like, I'm not going to train any more than I have been. I just still do an hour a day, but I'm just putting a little bit more consistency and effort into that side, just because I still like to push myself and perform well, but without dedicating too much time.
And you still program for the affiliate now, yeah?
Yeah.
So do you ever like avoid that? Say if you let your strength slip away, was that because when you were programmed for the affiliate, you were like, "Oh fuck that, I'm not doing that. I'll do this instead." Everyone's gonna do like running and bike because I'm not doing deadlifts.
No, not really. I just had like a lot of other things popping up, and I just not do certain things on certain days, and just be missing squat
Yeah.
days and be missing deadlift days. And I was dealing with having sore knees for a while, so I couldn't squat for a while there, um, especially back squats and going heavy. So it was just a few things kind of uh, coming together at the same time that affected me being consistent with that leading into last year's Open and that time of year.
And does it like, so you've obviously for 10, 11 years, CrossFit training, like training yourself was one of your like top pillars of focus, obviously, because you were like
Yeah.
so consistently at the top level for so long. So that, like, I find we're obviously on very different planes of existence here, but I find that like if something is going to give for me, it's training is going to give. So like I'm just at that stage of my life where I have two young kids, I have
Yeah.
this, I have work, and it's just like, all right, fuck it. Like that's just going to have to suffer today. And then
Yeah.
I get into periods of like high motivation where I'm like, oh yeah, like no matter what, I'm getting up early tomorrow, blah blah. And then that kind of goes away, and I just don't have the discipline at the
Yeah.
stage I'm at now to consistently do it. Are you
Yeah.
like, have you come off the back of that now? Like, say, because you obviously have the gym, you have a young family as well, you have Downunder, like you have all these kind of different plates, and then like
Yeah.
I suppose the easiest one to let fall is the training one because it has the least impact on other people.
Yeah. And that's definitely what happened. I found my groove a little bit more, and I was able to recently prioritize training a little bit more, at least 4 times a week, so 4 days a week. But yeah, I did go through that phase of letting training go. I remember down under last year, I was hardly kind of training in the lead up to that because there was so much work to do. It's like, fuck it, I'm just going to keep working and not stop for half an hour and train. Like I just
Yeah.
decided that. Where now I do stop. I'm like, no, I'm going to stop. I'm going to do it. And then
And
I'll get back
is
into
that
it.
priorities or is that delegation? Like, have you gotten to the stage now where you can like entrust other people to do things that you would have had to have done yourself before?
So it means just being up a little bit later at night and doing the work, just delaying the work, and just realised that being a little bit more focused when it's time to work as well, so I can get a little bit more done in the same amount of time by
Yeah.
focusing a little bit more and being a little bit more disciplined with what I'm doing and my time. So just I think I've got a little bit better at time management and fitting more work in a certain time, and then just getting to say 3:30 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon and going, all right, I'm putting it down, going to go and train, and then I'll get back into it, even if it means I've got to stay up at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night to get the work done. So yeah, it's definitely it's harder with so many things going on, like 2 kids and the gym and down under, and got a few other things going on. So I'm renovating my house as well. So there's there's a bit going on, but I'm staying
What
on
age are
top of it
your
all.
kids?
What's that? Sorry.
What age are your kids?
4 and 2.
Oh fuck, okay.
Great age. They're very independent.
Yeah. How did you cultivate that independence in them? Asking for a friend.
Oh,
Yeah.
still still waiting.
Mine are 3 before Christmas, and one of them was 2 like a couple of months ago. That's the year or two there.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know why I said that. I'm saying that more to people watching than I am to you. I know you know that they're your kids. And my one of them turned 2. My wife is pregnant again, so now we have a third coming. So it's going to be
Okay.
4, 2, 0.
Was that planned?
Yeah, Rob, fucking hell. I mean, to be honest, that tends to be the reaction from people is like, oh, like intentionally. It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we deliberately did it. It's like,
Yeah.
maybe we shouldn't have, but we did.
You
Yeah.
actually wanted 3?
Yeah. Like, to be honest, so I remember someone told us that if you have one child, you lose 6 months of sleep in the first 2 years. So then I was like, right, fuck it, let's just have 2, like really close together, and then we'll lose a year out of 4, and it's fine. And then we were like getting to the point where we felt things were about to start returning to normal on that side of things, like sleep and stuff. So we were like, I said, if we don't have a kid now, I will never have another child, because I'm not going to get my sleep back and then sacrifice it again.
Yeah.
Because I know how bad it is. So it's like now or never. So you're like, right now. But like, you have to get a new fucking car. Yeah, like it's not straightforward as like just going from 1 to 2. It's like a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
So your son is the older one.
Yes. Yeah.
And what's he like with your daughter? Is he like protective or?
He's pretty good. He's rough. Like, yeah, he throws her around a
So
little bit.
she'll be hardy when she's older then.
Yeah, well, she definitely is. She's wrestling him now. Yeah, and then when he wrestles her back, then that's when we have to kind of
Step in.
separate the two. But yeah, she'll definitely be a little tough one.
Yeah.
She's growing fast. I was like, you better look out once she gets just the same size as him.
Yeah, I remember when with our kids, I just realized that's an ad for Reebok, so I'm just going to take that down. I shouldn't have had that up for that long. When we had our son, our daughter was like fine about it as soon as he could start moving.
Yeah.
Since from then until now, it's constant like, if he's coming towards her general vicinity, it's like, ah! It's like he's not even going near you. It's like he's gonna take something, you know. Like, yeah, I think I don't know.
Yeah.
Apparently, it gets easier though. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll
They
see.
definitely they're pretty good. Like, yeah, he's caring, but he's rough a lot of the time.
Caring in his own way. Yeah, he's caring like a brother.
Yeah.
So obviously there's an aspect there that's, I suppose you accepted that it was happening, but it maybe wasn't a conscious decision to, or was it like to step away from competing and to be like, all right, I'm going to train and I'm going to focus on my businesses and my family and stuff, and competing is going to have to take a back seat as a byproduct. Like, was that a conscious thing, or did it just kind of happen?
Yeah, it was kind of forced through COVID, I guess. But 2019 was my last year, and then 2020 is when COVID came around, and I was enjoying the team stuff quite a bit, and there was no team thing in 2020 during that period. So yeah, the last couple of years as individual, probably the last year I'd say I didn't really enjoy too much. I
Just
went
because
through
of the
phases.
sacrifices and stuff, and
I loved the training. I loved all the work in the lead up to competition. I don't know, I just didn't really enjoy the competition itself. Like, yeah, I just loved the day-to-day training. It was just that, like, I know maybe it was putting a lot of pressure on myself to perform a little bit better a year on. But the team stuff I really enjoyed the strategic part of it, and kind of developing, especially when I was an affiliate team, developing the other athletes and trying to bring them up as well. Enjoyed that whole process. And I guess that transitioned into, helping Jay and the other guys in the gym, and kind of got a little bit more out of that, or enjoyed that more than competing myself. So the transition out during COVID, I'm like, oh, well, I think I'm done now. That I was kind of forced to be done, because I just sign up to the Open and then just kind of make it happen every year. Like, didn't really think too far ahead or plan it. It just kind of happened.
And do you
Yeah.
think was it made easier the fact that Jay and them were there, that like you didn't have to actually re-identify yourself as like, I'm not an athlete anymore. It was like, all right, now I'm helping these guys, as opposed to if you just stopped and it was like going back to being a coach and an affiliate rather than that kind of
Yeah.
elite level.
Yeah, I could still be involved, still go to all these major competitions, and still try and push them as much as I could in the training, in the gym, and during their training. So yeah, it was definitely, I guess, an easier transition out. It was still hard to let go of. Like, you still want to be that good athlete in the gym, and I'm still a very competitive person.
Hmm.
So it was almost better to let my fitness slip away a little bit more, like it did the last Open, because I was like, all right, I'm not where I was at. I can't do what I used to do now.
Yeah.
But then it's also fun to then try and creep back up, but without, like I said, that time dedication. It's like, how much or how fit can I be just doing an hour a day?
Yeah.
How much can I put into that hour, like in terms of focus and effort, to just get as much out of that as I can? And that's kind of where I'm at now.
Um. So you when you were coaching Jay, he was on your team first, right? He was on
Yeah,
the affiliate
yeah,
team. When he was like 7. And you were coaching him through that, and then afterwards, and he made it to the games, and he was like a dominant force in Australia, and he'll say himself that it didn't really transfer over to when he was at the games, that he kind of got a bit of a shock the first year, I think, and then, you know, didn't have as much of an improvement as he thought he would after
yeah,
that, despite still like dominating in Australia. And it was interesting to me where just before the games, or before semifinals, or just after semifinals, maybe it became apparent that he had joined Proven and that he was being coached by them.
yeah,
Um, and interestingly, then fucking that's not. I'm not even doing a thumbs up. Interestingly, then at the games, I think, or maybe I shouldn't have been, but I was really surprised to see you at the games, and to see you like with Jay, and because I suppose I always assume when something that like that happens, that one or both people think the other person is a dick, and that they've like fallen out and they hate each other, and it's like, fuck that guy, he left me, or fuck that guy, I'm leaving him, one or the other.
yeah,
Um, but you guys seem to have a really healthy, just like amicable,
yeah.
genuine, wishing you all the best sort of scenario. Is that accurate?
Yes, because the way that came about after semi-finals, it was actually before I had the idea of potentially reaching out to one of these training camps to get him involved to prep for the games. Not necessarily just over there, but jump on their programming and get hit with the volume that they do, because I felt like previous years that was the missing piece, was the work ethic, doing the work required to do well at the games. So I thought I could do that, but to get a little bit more trust in that process, let's go to someone that has the track record. So I reached out to one. There was a little bit of, yeah, we can, we'll see what we can do. So then I reached out to another, and it was a little bit the same, but we made it work, and that's kind of how that came about. So, um, so I ended up chatting to Shane, and well, Jay and I both did, and they made it happen where he could jump on their programming, then go over there and prep for it and all of that. So I was involved in that process. So that's, yeah, because I knew that's what would be best for him moving forward.
Yeah, it's remarkable, really, because most people would be like, "No, like stay here." Because even the fact that you recognize you needed it, and as
Yeah,
you say, you probably could have done something towards getting him to where he needs to go, but like, why do something to 75%, like, or 80%, or even 90% when there's
yeah,
someone who has a trusted, proven, pardon the pun, but proven track
yeah,
record of
yeah.
doing that thing?
Yeah.
Um, what was it? I'm finding it really hard not to ask who the first camp you reached out to is, but what was it about? Like, what were you looking for in a camp? Like, what was the thing that you were trying to identify that made it in your head a good fit for what you were doing?
It was pretty much just track record and somewhere where he would go and feel welcome, and also just it was more so just him trusting that whatever they're doing is going to work. Because I know with our relationship, I felt like we lost that a little bit from, like what you said, a couple of disappointing years, and I can see that. I'm not silly. I can pick up on that. That's why I made that decision to change it up, to hopefully get a different result, and hopefully, he could show up every day and work hard and know that it will potentially pay off, and it did. So it worked out well.
Isn't it funny that whenever that phrase, any variation of working hard and it paying
Yeah, I
off,
know.
or
Yeah, I
hard work being paid off, or
know.
anything like that, just instantly goes like, oh, HWPO.
Yeah.
They've like copyrighted a famous CrossFit phrase. What was it then that you saw where you were like, oh fuck, I'm losing it. I'm losing the trust of it here. Was it just like attitude to training? Was it like application in training? Was it questioning training a bit more? Was it like, was there something specific, or was it just a general vibe?
It was a general vibe. Yeah, and I was the kind of the same. Like, um, looking back at what was done that, what was it, 2022 season, it was a little bit more of a let's prioritize intensity over volume, which didn't work at that level. It does
Yeah,
at semi-final level, but it doesn't at the games level.
yeah,
It's just way more of a workload to get through. It's also allowing a little bit more time, like he's talked about, to acclimatise, get used to the heat, because that hit him pretty hard 2022 as well. So he spent a lot longer prepping this time because of that. Spent more time in the US in a hotter climate. So then when he went to Madison, it just felt like nothing. So
yeah,
there was a few things, not just the training itself, but I think the preparation was definitely, twofold what he'd done previous years. Like, he did twice as much work. And
yeah,
I said to him, like, that's all you. Like, you put that work in, no one else did. Like, you did the work.
yeah, and it paid off.
And it did.
It's great though. It is really great, like seeing that sort of relationship. Like, I think so Allegra here says that it's the same with Jacob Hepner, bringing Olivia to Proven
Yeah.
just to get up, like again, the easy thing to do, and she continued to truly care about progressing them in the sport.
Yeah.
Not just like whatever. Um, yeah, Jack, well, you're catching up there. Good man, Proven. Is it? Did you feel like, at a loose end a bit at the games this year then compared to other years? Were you a bit like, what do I do here now? Because I'm not as like integral as I was other years.
Yeah. It was hard to be on the other side, I guess. Like, normally you're in the warm up area and you get to see everything. But in saying that, it was a cool experience to see everything else that happens at the CrossFit Games and experience it all.
Yeah,
Because I'd never done that before. That was, I competed 9 times, and that was my 11th CrossFit Games. I never experienced it as a spectator, in terms of walking around and seeing the vendors and doing some workouts, just interacting with people, having conversations. I'd never done that before, so it was cool in that sense,
yeah,
to see it all and connect with people I haven't connected with for a long time. People I used to compete against early days, your OG CrossFitters, actually be able to go and have a conversation with them, bump into them. I participated in some of the seminars I had at the affiliate lounge, like got some education in. Yes, it was actually quite good.
That's cool. At semi-finals, then I remember seeing that you did demo team at Torian. Is that right?
Yeah, that was like a last minute thing. Hey, can you demo some movements? I'm like, yeah, give me a free parking ticket really close to the venue, I'll do it.
Yeah. If I don't have to walk far afterwards, I'll do it.
Yeah.
So then we'll get on to talking about Down Under in a minute, but I'm just kind of curious there of like Torian is obviously it's the semi-final event, and even before it was a semi-final, it was a pretty big dick event in Australia where it was like they really put on a show, and it's like it's a whopper event always. There's obviously no ill energy between the two then Down Under and Torian if they're reaching out to you and asking, hey, will you do demo team? Like there's obviously a good relationship there as well. There's no like overly competitive nature between the two of you.
No, like they're very different. One's a CrossFit. That's part of the CrossFit game season. The other one's a standalone event, a different time of year. So I think just that alone kind of separates them a bit. They were two standalone events. It's got to be in the off season. There's only so many comps you can go to. I think that's where we'd be kind of direct competitors. Where I think that's why we're not. One's a sanctioned event, and the other one's not. So, that's what I think the main difference is. And I get along with the two boys that own it, and I'm happy to help them out wherever I can, like that, and make sure that the semi-finals, everyone's on the same page with the workouts and all of that, and it's all clear. So, if I can help out with that, I'm happy to.
I guess it makes you look good as well. Like it makes Down Under seem like a more
CrossFit moving still. So yeah,
but it makes Down Under look good, as in if Torian looks good and puts Australia on the map, and like people are like, fuck, like Australians put on a good show, and then they see Down Under in the off season, they might be like, well, shit, if it's anything like the other show that we've seen, like why not?
Yeah, I think so. People want to travel to Australia. Like I had a lot of these conversations when I was at the games. There's a lot of people wanting to come out and spend a month. Some of those training camps I was talking about, they want to come over and run some training camps and stuff like that prior to our event, and then do the competition itself. So there's a lot of that in the works for next year. So yeah, it's a good time of year. Like there's a lot going on that time of year with Rogue, and Rogue's very high paying events. People are going to prioritize that. So we have to kind of work around Rogue if we still want to get some big names travel over and do our event.
Yeah. It's kind of sandwiched between Rogue and Wadapalooza, really. That's your biting point they have to get around.
Dubai, but Dubai seems to have dropped off a little bit in terms of high profile athletes. A little bit.
Yeah. I think I feel like they've either lost ground or they're just changing their focus, like one or the other. That they seem to be going through a transitional phase. But I do wonder, is it because like people are like, oh fuck that, I'm just after doing Rogue, or like fuck that, I'm going to Australia. Like if it's like one of those,
hopefully.
There are some incredible athletes going, some incredible teams especially, and you had the same last year. I remember I guess I was kind of semi-aware of it because of you and because of Jay, and just I'm friendly with a lot of the Australian athletes, so I kind of follow what they're doing and stuff. And then this year it seems like the hype of last year of like say Chandler and those guys going over and stuff seems to have, I guess when you do something like that, you want to build off it. You don't want it to happen and then try to just replicate what you did to make as big of a fuss in it. You want it to be like a platform to jump off of. And like, it seems to be on an incredible trajectory where now it's like they're going, but they're bringing other people with them. And like other people are going because they're going. And like, there seems to be that there's now like a big group mentality towards going over to Australia. Like you say, this thing of, it's going to be summer over there, it's going to be nice weather, it's going to be an experience as well as just doing a competition. Is that something that you've consciously worked towards?
Yeah, we have. Trying to, yeah, we've got someone in place now to help us with that as well. Like, if the athletes don't have plans, let's try and help them out with some plans to make it a bit more of an experience and not just be the competition itself. So have the, going, and I'm not across it directly, but we've got someone in place, constantly in contact with them and trying to give them some itinerary, or fill their itinerary or their time prior to the event or after the event to make it a better experience. And then they can go back to the US or Europe or wherever they're from, tell the other guys how good it was, so then we get more of them come back. But we want them to have a good time while they're over here and not just see a stadium and that's it. We want to get them to see a little bit more about what Australia's about and experience it while they're over here.
Yeah, it's really cool. I like it. So Sarah is there, and this this picture just gets me every time I see it. So there you got a Frog Grips team in as well, and I had expected, where is he? I had expected Jake to be on that team, but he's obviously going individual. That's his focus. And then these guys,
and then Ricky's just put a team together as well last minute.
Who's on that team?
It's Ricky, Ben, which is his brother.
Oh yes, and one of the pan chicks.
Yeah, Spencer.
I remember seeing that and being like, all right, most random team award. Congratulations, you've won. I was like, that is bizarre, but like all power to them. Yeah, I was like, that makes no sense to me, but brilliant. And then these guys, which like, I feel like maybe this is just me overanalyzing things, but I feel like any team that these two guys are on, whoever the other person is, it's basically a tug of war of like, I want them. No, I want them. Like, I feel like that's all their teams are, like Madrid and here. And it's great. You got Annika going over. She's obviously in she trains with Noah. She's gone over individual. And then I was watching these guys today training. They're putting up some training stuff as well. So they're like, it's a shit ton of games athletes, like really.
On the men's side, it's going to be good that we've got those three solid teams, and then hopefully there's one or two local teams. Yeah, that's it.
It's just so random. It's like someone photoshopped. I know this photo is obviously photoshopped together, but it's like someone photoshopped it and just put the wrong person in or something. We're just like, I don't know, just put him in as a placeholder. It's like, I love it, but it's just so random. It's not the person I would have thought. But yeah, it's cool. And then I also noticed that you will I be able to find it now? Hang on. I'm really shit at doing this, and I'm doing it at the same time as talking to you. But I also noticed that you're doing like an affiliate, like
gathering.
Yeah, so you're doing the Australia New Zealand gathering at the same time as like during the event as well.
Yeah, so that's the Thursday, the day before. We had that on last year. They do some educational pieces and have some guest speakers and all of that. So it was really successful last year, so they're doing it again this time around.
It's cool as well, though, because it's like you're obviously taking the sort of like all of the different aspects that you've experienced yourself through the years, you're putting it all under one roof, basically. So you've got those affiliate, like you've been an affiliate owner for like over a decade, so you've got that covered. You've got the elite level competition and the community competition, both of which you've had a part in over the years. Have also started adding in, or have, last year and this year added in those kind of scenarios that you've enjoyed yourself this last 8 months when you got over to Madison and got to experience it for the first time, where you're like, shit, I've got all this free time, I can actually do some shit. And now you're offering that to other people that are going as well.
Yeah. The opportunity to work out during the competition, I really enjoyed. So we've added that in this time round. We've got a community gym. So people will have the opportunity to get a workout in during the competition, not just be sitting down. watching the same workout over and over again, they can kind of have a break from that, go and do a go wad, or go and do a session. We're going to have some CrossFit staff out there. Proven's going to be running sessions as well. So,
Cool.
so there's going to be a bit going on. And yeah, like you said, a lot of that comes from all of our ideas. But yeah, personally, what I enjoy as well. And I think it's
Have
good. Another division that we added in this year, which I don't know if you saw, was the futures, which is, I got that idea from seeing it in Supercross. That's not sure if you know what Supercross is, but it's
sounds like something to do with bikes.
motorbike racing indoors,
Bad.
like big jumps. So futures is like 16 to 19-year-olds.
Okay, so you're looking at that group that's aged out, or is about to age out, basically.
Bridge that gap between once they're done as a teenager to being in that elite division. I especially notice on the male side that a lot of athletes, really good athletes, lose motivation or tend to drop off because they miss out for a couple of years in a row or 2 or 3 years in a row, and then we don't really see them again. And they were at the games as teenagers, and then we don't see them actually at the elite level because they've dropped off. I think it's a motivation thing. So I thought it would be a good idea to try and bridge that gap, get them to at least 19 years old where they can still be competitive, and then it's like, all right, you might make that jump, or you might have 1 or 2 years where you still got to work a little bit hard, and then you can make it into the elite division. But yeah, I think on the female side, they can make that transition a lot sooner. It seems to be like they're at younger age, where on the male side it's more you're 23, 24. There's some exception to that.
You're sort of waiting for that, like man strength, basically.
Yeah. For a lot of them, strength is the major issue.
Yeah,
and
I mean, I'm still waiting for my man strength.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for my dad's strength. I was like, maybe a third child will bring it on.
Man, I'll report back, but fucking doubt it. The other thing then as well is you had an adaptive division last year as well. And you had so Rogan was obviously there and he was competing in that. And he's a fucking beast. It was a kind of an exhibition toe in the water type division, is that fair?
Yeah, because we don't have that many involved, and there's so many different divisions. It's like, how do we do it where we wanted to have that? We wanted to have them on display and show, it's pretty inspirational to have those guys out on the floor and have everyone see it and have more adaptive athletes watch it and be inspired by it and want to be out there. So we've done the same thing again. It's more of a showcase, but for that reason, it's more of an inspirational thing. Try and grow it over here, because we don't have enough in each category to then turn it into a competition on its own.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still good to have them involved. We're more involved this year than what we did last year, so it's obviously trending in the right direction. It is tricky.
It's the same as well, I guess, as those elites. Like, you want people to see them. You want people to see people like Rogan. You want people like Rogan to see someone like Rogan doing what he's doing and then think, well, shit, next year I can work towards that. Or like, or someone else to see it and say, hey, have you seen this guy? He's missing a leg too, and he can do whatever. And then you want them going back and telling their friends. But I suppose the thing is, because the elite athletes are all at that level already and they can talk to each other, and it's an instant, like, fucking thumbs up. It's an instant, no, you can't do it, Rob. It's an instant, they don't have a gap to bridge. They're just like, yeah, fuck it, I'll go. Whereas like someone who's new to the sport, or who's like maybe just kind of tipping along in an affiliate, it will take longer for that word of mouth to become an actionable thing, I guess.
Yeah, and the way we've got it structured, that person can be involved and they don't need to be elite in the adaptive division. Like it's an expression of interest, and we're not really turning anyone away. And we're allowing scaling different kind of options with the event. So yeah, it is open to anyone that really wants to get into it, I guess.
Yeah. It's cool as well because I think I know John Singleton with the Crown is doing something similar with that competition. And then Pit Teen Throwdown. Well, I don't know what's going to happen now, but before they had the games, they were doing, I think they called it Varsity, and it sounds like the same. So it's cool to see it happening on 3 different continents, like the same kind of,
Yeah,
the same failing is being spotted by different people and trying to be rectified rather than just, oh, that's shit. And then, anyway, where's Noah? And like, like just
yeah,
focusing on that side of things.
yeah,
Last year was obviously got a lot of attention, and it was like a large event. Like it's a fucking big venue. It's a big undertaking. Like you got a lot of different spaces all in one area, one location, whatever. So it's a lot to manage and stuff. Is there anything, say, this year that you're doing vastly different than last year, where you were like, all right, that didn't work at all, we need to change it, or is it just really just fine tuning now?
It's going to be a little bit different how it's structured and what we're doing. Last year we weren't able to use the field outside. This year we're able to, and that
Okay.
was just restrictions from the venue. I compromised by running it one of the events on the side of the hill, which
Oh, I remember
was
that. Yeah.
so it was next to the field, normally where they would have spectators sit and watch the field.
Yeah.
I was like, can I use that grassed area? Because you don't want me to ruin your perfectly manicured grass here. And they're like, yeah, you can do whatever you want up there. So that's how that one came about. Say
And
for that
was
event,
was the change this year because they trusted you more, or like what? How come you're allowed to use it
just
this year?
last year there was another event close to it. They had
Okay.
something, maybe a soccer game or something close, and they didn't want us to ruin the turf or damage it at all. So yeah, that was the main reason why. It was just timing that we weren't able to use it. And yeah, the field last year, on the side of the field, we had quite a few complaints about people not being able to see it. So that's one thing we've, I guess, taken away and trying to change is everything we set up, making sure that people can see it. But yeah, we're going to have quite a bit going on. Like we are just talking about, we've got a lot of divisions, but we don't have like, okay, intermediate teams, you're just in this arena, and elites, you're just in this arena. It's like everyone will be doing very similar events and in the same locations, same arenas.
Okay, I follow. Yeah.
So over the weekend, we'll have two main ones, but we'll touch on a third as well, a third
That's cool.
arena or location.
When will workouts start coming out, or will they?
Next week, so I think it's the 20th. Like I haven't scheduled it. I've just, here it is. You push it out. I think it's Monday, the 20th.
Okay.
So not too far off now.
And is it being live streamed
Yes, it is.
on YouTube? If you just search Downunder Championships,
I'm
is it?
pretty sure it'll be down on the YouTube. I think the outdoor events might be like a Facebook Live,
Okay.
but anything in the stadium will be proper broadcast live stream.
And just like ballpark, so you can tell me to fuck off if you don't answer this. But ballpark, how much money is leaving the Down Under Championship account? Like whatever's coming in, I don't care about what's coming in. I'm just wondering about the cost of putting on an event of this scale. Like when everybody is paid and you haven't taken in any money yet from any sponsors or any spectators or anything, is it like $80,000? Is it like way more than that? Is it way less than that?
So the cost to run it, you mean? Is that
Yeah,
what you? Yeah.
like
So
the venue, the
just,
equipment,
just the venue itself last year was around 150K.
fuck.
Yeah. So that's just the venue.
Fucking hell. Okay, Jesus.
Yeah. So your 80K is way off.
Fuck. Wow. That's because I'm trying to think.
So
So
yeah,
it's about like 3/4 or like 3/5, I think, is dollar to dollar.
and
Like
then
to American dollars.
prize money was like 125,000 last year. Like, so just those
So
two things.
heading for 300,000 just, and does that, when you
That's
say
just
venue, does
two.
that include like insurance and stuff?
The venue, it included, the venue itself, all their stuff that they needed, some catering, all of that kind of stuff.
Fucking hell.
It'll be very similar this year, maybe a little bit more, because we're using outside and we need turf protection and there might be turf damage and
Oh
you
yeah.
know stuff like that.
You'll be going around with a little nail scissors
Yeah,
at the end. Be like,
yeah,
put that bit back.
yeah.
And for
I'll give everyone
equipment
a
then,
bucket of sand to fill their divot.
yeah. Do you utilize like your own equipment from Frankston, or do you bring in, because I see like
No,
Concept are involved, are you bringing in all your own equipment specifically for it, or have you got like a competition setup that you have stored somewhere for the rest of the
so
year?
we've got Alpha Fit equipment supplying all the equipment for us, and we've got Concept 2 supplying the machines, but Alpha Fit's taking lead on all of that. They're supplying the equipment, and they're pushing 100K in what they're supplying. So yeah, it's a pretty major thing. Like the numbers have to work
Like fairly
in
quickly, you're
terms
heading for
of
like 500,000 there. Fairly quickly when you have
like
everything included.
well, they're a sponsor. Like it's not directly an outlay
Yeah,
for
yeah.
us, but the outlay from
Someone.
everyone.
Yeah,
Yeah. So like we need these high profile athletes for this thing to work. We
yeah.
need bums on seats for this thing to work. Like, it's just the only way it can. So, and that's like one of the cheaper venues too in Australia. Like, it's a regional area. So, it's good. Like when I got the opportunity to jump on this and be a part of it, I thought of that venue straight away just because there's so many good memories there. We had regionals run
Yeah.
there from 2012 to 2017. So it's quite a few years in there. And I knew that it would excite a lot of people to go back there because it'd been a while. And that's where Mick Shaw, who used to run the regionals, he had it there. And then he also ran and started Downunder in 2019. And then as the licensed event or sanctioned event for CrossFit. And then he lost it to Torian. And then that's where he pretty much just stopped it, had enough at that point, and then that's when that kind of came about for us to jump on board and bring it back. So
So if we see Downunder Championships 2024 at CrossFit Frankston, we know you're in trouble. We know
yeah,
you've significantly scaled
yeah,
back operations.
yeah, pretty much.
All right. Can you give us any kind of teasers then on what people can expect from the workouts? Like, is there anything particularly mouth-watering coming up?
Mouth watering.
Exciting.
Yes. Well, they're going to find out very soon, but they will get an opportunity to get outside and probably get some sand on their feet or on their shoes,
Okay.
maybe on their hands, maybe some other places. Who knows?
Some crevices.
Yeah. They'll be outside on the field, like I talked about. I can only really talk about kind of locations, no real
Yeah.
specifics. But the way they're written, and it's like scheduling had to fit in. Like it had to all fit within a big schedule, multiple events. We've got a contingency plan. I've done the schedule for Friday and Sunday that they kind of mirror each other. So if the
Okay.
weather's bad, I can flip days if I
Yeah.
need to. if the weather doesn't kind of line up. So I've got a lot of things in place to make sure that it's a good experience for the athletes and also the spectators. I think it's going to be very good to watch from a spectator perspective, but also fun and good to participate in as well.
Even just, you mentioned that you have someone looking after like this side of things. Whoever's doing this is doing a fucking really good job. The website is really good. And
that's Andreas' business partner.
It's really good. Like, it's really good that there's just so much. Usually you go onto these, like, I've been on websites before where you're like, others can. I've been on websites before where you're like, oh, I wonder like what vendors are going to be there. And it's fucking hard to find. And you're looking back through Instagram for one little shitty post that was posted like 4 months ago and you're trying to find it. But there's a lot of like detail in each of these as well, which is really cool. So then if people want to find out more, I suppose they should be going to
DownunderChampionship.com.
Yeah, DownunderChampionship.com and at DownunderChampionship on Instagram. I just followed that there like 20 seconds ago because I realized I wasn't following it before now. And then it's going to be streamed on the YouTube, Downunder Championship on the YouTube. And from next Monday, people can see this fella's going to shift to the right, and the first workout will be popping up there basically from Monday, sometime after Monday of next week.
Yeah, it should be. Yes.
Exciting. Are you excited for it? Or are you nervous? Or are you kind of fine about it?
No, I'm excited for it. I remember last year I was like so unsure on how it's all going to play out. Like, I've ran quite a few comps in my day, but not at that scale.
Yeah.
There's a lot of moving pieces, a lot of people involved. Yeah, we've got a really good team though. So very confident in, because we've got the same team, like from broadcast to head judge to equipment. Like, we've got really good people with a lot of experience in those areas. So I'm just excited, confident that everyone's going to do their job and we're going to put on a great event. So yeah, it's not too far off now. So
yeah, it's almost D-Day.
Everything's looking good. Just need to get some more bums on seats. So if you're thinking about it, grab some tickets, support the event, so we can pay that big bill to the venue. No.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing as well, that people get like, people see and they see like, oh, that's great, a really successful event, and then for some reason that leads them to think like, I don't need to support it. Like that it's and there's I can't get into it. There's Beck was there last year. I was there last year. It was fantastic. So you can buy another ticket there, Beck. He's got a couple of 100,000 that he needs to pay off.
Bring some friends.
Yeah, buy lots of tickets. Just before we finish up, I just want to shamelessly promote myself. There's a pre-order on these. They're like a pullover, like I don't know what you call it, like a little pump cover.
A jumper.
Yeah, like a light long sleeve tee kind of thing. And then this is like a sweatshirt, like a jumper sweatshirt thing. And there's also like a little in-joke hidden in it as well that nobody has seen yet, as far as I know, because no one's mentioned it to me. So if anyone sees it, you can tell me. And the pre-order for that closes on Saturday. So if you don't have an order in by Saturday, forget it. Because it's literally the amount that's there plus one of each from myself is what's being bought. Because similar to Rob, it's not 150K we're talking about, but there's bills to be paid. So if you want them, you can order them. You can go to the website, coffeepodsandmodels.com. I have forgotten to say that on every show I've done for the last 7 days. This is the first time I've remembered it. And the only thing that brought into my head was, I'm actually pretty broke myself. When you were talking about your 150K, I was like, it's a different scale, but I'm still broke.
Yeah.
Well, listen, thanks for coming on, Rob. It's been great to get to talk to you. It was really nice to get to meet you in Madison as well. Congrats on everything you've achieved with your own career, your family, your affiliate, this, like Down Under, and helping Jay and everything else. It's remarkable what you've done. Best of luck next month. Well, it's not a month away, but in December. And yeah, hopefully we'll make this an annual little thing of coming on and having a little preview or a review every year of Down Under would be great.
Sounds good.
I could come next year. I'll come.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, I'll just wait till the third child arrives, and then I'll fuck off for a month to Australia. Can't see any problem with that. I'm sure it'll be
Yeah,
fine.
easy. Just bring the whole family. It won't cost much.
Not even the financial toll that would take. It would cost so much, like mentally and emotionally. Yeah. That flight with no, I'm not doing that,
Yeah.
Rob. But thanks. Best of luck at everything. Thanks very much.